I think everything's running then.
Yes, again.
Yes. Welcome to Well, There's Your Problem. It's a podcast about engineering disasters. It has slides. I'm Justin Rosniak, the person who is talking right now. Okay, go.
I am Alice Caldwell-Kelly. I'm the person who's talking now. My pronouns are she and her. You didn't say pronouns.
I forgot the pronouns.
Transphobe.
That's because I've decided to get into a new grift. I'm very supportive of only the trans people I know, and I hate the rest of them. And you already know my pronouns, so
that's right.
I don't give a shit.
That's reasonable. Liam.
You didn't say it, so I didn't know when to go.
Yay, Liam.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Liam Anderson. My pronouns are he, him.
Oh, so you're not getting on the grift?
No. My grift is a lot easier. This is one where I come over to Roz's house with a knife and I say, put the money in the bag. And he says, okay.
I thought your grift was trying to get sponsored by Snooze.
They won't respond to my email.
Oh, fuck. Their marketing team have been like missing the easiest
this is a
free
layup.
throws.
Yes, exactly. I don't even use Snooze anymore, so it's kind of like, what's the point? But like I used to, and I love
you
those
have that affection. Yeah.
I will say
we're here to encourage everyone to take up tobacco products.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Especially
get your
children
before it's too late.
Yeah.
I will say, in case you hear me screaming at any point during tonight's recording,
sure.
The Stanley Cup playoffs have started, and my beloved Boston Bruins are in Game 1 against the hated and despised Carolina Hurricanes.
This is hockey, right? Not to be like sport,
no, this
right?
is hockey. This is hockey.
Right. Gotcha.
This is the one of two sports I meaningly give a shit about.
We're
about to get scored on. Nope, it went high. Fuck you, buddy.
Excellent.
So you will get live hockey commentary.
Eid Mubarak at time of recording, by the way.
Oh, congratulations, you did it.
Yeah, I did. I made it through a whole month of fasting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, what do you see on the screen in front of you are the remnants of a dam.
Oh, no. Are we about to see another mysterious act of God's love?
Maybe.
God.
But first, we have to do the goddamn news. So if any of you remember that Amazon warehouse that fell down last year in a tornado?
Yeah, well, they made them all
they made them all stay, anyway. And there was like that text, that went around. Turns out Amazon's not going to be penalized for it at all.
Oh, crime is legal.
This collapse killed 6 workers in Edwardsville, Illinois, in December of last year. A lot of them were contract delivery drivers who didn't know any of the procedures, right?
Then that's not an accident. Because
this is social murder, but
right. And we should point out that crime is illegal, but only if you're poor.
Yeah. So the social murder is the legal kind. If you God damn it, dude. I mean, you kill 6 people for the proceeds of a till out of a store and they'll execute you, but you kill 6 people for marginally increased returns on some packages that are going to get destroyed in a fucking tornado anyway. And no consequences. We won't even know the names of any of the people whose decisions led to this.
Yes. That's right. The cops killed some people over some Pokemon cards a couple days ago. Right.
Yeah. Didn't they
bystander, I think.
Yeah. Innocent bystander.
Incredible.
They just sprayed sort of the whole parking lot with gunfire, missed the person who was allegedly shoplifting and just killed someone else.
That's
law enforcement. That's great law enforcement.
That's great law enforcement, folks. But Amazon isn't going to have any responsibility for this. And I mean, these tilt-up style warehouses are very prone to this kind of collapse. That's why they have big tornado shelters inside the warehouse, because they assume in the tornado the warehouse is going to get obliterated. But apparently
And they build a load of these in like tornado-prone states because all of those places are very economically deprived. And when Amazon comes in, there's like in exchange for merely a shitload of tax incentives and killing 6 of your citizens,
and they're metaphorical and literal pounds of flesh. Yes,
we will prop up single-handedly your economy in a way that gives everybody like long-term workplace injuries.
That's what Walmart did in the 90s.
Yeah.
So same shit, different day. Fantastic.
Normal country.
Yeah, well, and this is going to keep happening, and the next one might be worse. So I assume they still have like civil liability, right? They're just not facing any criminal liability from this. So
let me reread the article here.
I have to figure someone's going to try and sue them.
The Labor Department has ordered Amazon to review how it responds to severe weather events following an investigation into a deadly warehouse collapse.
Okay, I want to review Jeff Bezos and make sure he has a nice time. We'll simply take him out into the him and then through the streets.
Well,
see, I did your job for you.
They will not be levying a citation with fines or other penalties.
They won't even be fining them?
Yeah.
Gee, dude, and I know that like that's a pathetic sentence I just said, given the cost of 6 lives. But just like, what's even the fucking point of any
you
of this?
Won't even do the fucking, you won't do the gesture anymore.
Right.
The empty gesture that's like you have to pay something that is like negligible to you. Yeah, no.
I bet they'll be facing some kind of civil penalties in an unrelated court case.
Yeah,
the government's not going to. Yeah, exactly. The government's not going to do anything though. They're going to have to prosecute that themselves.
Time to shine, Joe Biden. Time to give the workers the power, like you said you would.
Yeah,
dude, it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks.
It sucks extremely bad. But we also got to go to India for our second item of the goddamn news.
Yeah.
So
Springfield tire fire now visible from Delhi.
We got to talk about a place called the Balswa landfill in Delhi, which has now been on fire for I think 6-7 consecutive days. Maybe
it's too long.
Fantastic.
This is like Delhi is a very large city. It's still, I believe, a growing city. It's a very dense city. And as such, it generates a lot of trash. This landfill, it was planned to be closed over 10 years ago. Up until when it caught fire, the city was still dumping 2,500 tons of waste a day in there.
That is an incredible number. I will say that.
What you may also know, you may have seen that map of surface temperatures in the Indian subcontinent right now.
Yeah.
India's like prone to heat waves even prior to like anthropogenic climate change, but then we did a shit ton of anthropogenic climate change. So right now, temperatures in Delhi like over 43 degrees Celsius, which is like 110 Fahrenheit, which is enough to just spontaneously ignite the methane that landfill generates, which then caught fire. And it has been burning since. It may just be unextinguishable.
Well, everyone deserves their own little Centralia.
Yeah, and also you should be aware that like this is not a situation where there's any kind of like sort of standoff distance between this and where people live. Like there's a lot of people who work on the landfill informally, and therefore live next to it. And the smoke from this stuff. No good. Like,
don't you want to breathe? No.
Nah, I probably don't want to breathe that.
No, it's not really a situation where you can just leave either. So
yeah, no share zoning your way out of this one, unfortunately.
No, I'm afraid not.
No, everything is terrible.
Hey, but I will say this. The Delhi central government did impose a 50,000 rupee fine on the municipal corporation in charge of this, which is 50,000 rupees more than but it's 50,000 rupees more than Amazon got fined. So
true.
It's a more functional government in this case.
50,000 rupees is not a lot of rupees.
No.
That's like $100 or something.
If you want a horrifying detail from this, I see here in one of the stories about this, Gyan Saravar School, a child resource center for children of rag pickers living near the landfill site, has been closed for a week due to envelopment by thick smoke.
Oh my God.
So
I would expect like the word, like all those weird Indian words for large numbers to be coming up here for the fine, not 50,000.
it's 50. Actually, I'm wrong. It was 50 lakhs.
50 lakhs. Okay,
look at what a lakh is here.
Yeah, I never remember what the hell these things actually are.
That's five. Hey, it's no, that's euro. Why did it go to euro?
It's 100,000.
I typed in 50
sense.
lakhs to USD, and what did Google give me? 5 million euro equals no.
So
not the same
500,000
thing.
rupees in dollars, current price. That's $6,500.
Okay, so it's nothing. All right, so it's one gaming computer at these prices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, if you people wanted a palate cleanser, go fuck yourselves.
yeah,
we don't have one.
About a dozen Xboxes.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, that's the news.
Everything's bad.
The news. I was going to put a second photo in here and I forgot it.
That's fine. We can look at some more
Doesn't matter.
some more heat maps.
Nothing matters.
So I thought what we need to do for context here is we need to talk about Southern California.
Another place that will shortly be uninhabitable due to climate change.
No, Alice. You silly girl. No, it's going to sink into the sea.
Well, it'll put the wildfires out, so that's fine.
Yes. Thank God we're surrounded by water.
So it's mostly fairly arid, but you might not notice that if you go there because we've done so much alteration to the environment. Right?
Terraforming.
Yeah, you just dumped the entire Colorado River into various like olive groves and like other places that are like maintained by very skilled workers who are paid nothing.
Yes. So most of California is somewhere between arid, semi-arid to a desert, right?
Yeah.
And the way the climate works basically is that there are dry months and rainy months. And during the rainy months, all the clouds come in from the Pacific Ocean. They hit the Sierra Nevadas, and then they just piss out all the water, which is then
Is that the
snow.
scientific term?
Yeah, I remember reading that on the like water cycle
Yeah, the
thing.
clouds take their dicks out.
Yeah.
And just like at the urinals at a Phillies game, just start going.
California, nature's urinal trough.
Exactly.
Also,
And
God's
then,
Etch a Sketch.
Over the summer, all that snow, it melts and then it goes into like rivers and crap, and then it goes out to the ocean. Right?
Then it
Are you
goes into
drunk?
like rivers and crap.
Yeah.
Are you drunk?
What? No,
Are
I'm
you
not
drunk?
actually.
Oh, I wish I was drunk.
I just didn't write very many notes for this,
It's
so I'm
okay.
improvising.
It's fine.
Fine. California is like almost as artificial a
Shithole.
creation as Las Vegas in a lot of ways.
Please don't belittle the Jewish people and our many contributions to society.
Yeah, the Jewish homeland, California.
No, the Jewish
I would
homeland,
say
Las Vegas.
really made the
Because
desert
the
bloom.
Jewish mob. Yeah,
The Los Angeles water system is a lot more complicated than the Las Vegas one,
Yeah, the Las Vegas one is
Yeah.
hope.
which is what we're going to talk about now. Okay.
Las Vegas?
So Los Angeles.
Lake Mead
Do you
is now
wanna
dropped below the level of the top.
To the point where they're finding
intake.
bodies in it,
Yeah.
apparently?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Alice, in order to upset Roz, do you want to just go wildly off topic with me for like 5 to 10 minutes?
I would love to go wildly off topic with you. Let's
Or
go.
What do you talk
Fantastic.
about?
Talk about
they
Las
fucking
Vegas.
score. The fucking Canes scored.
Right.
No, it's not great, you dick.
No, I mean, it's not great. Yeah.
It's bad.
I was saying
whatever.
great in a sarcastic sense.
Oh,
Okay,
thank
so you're
you.
covering all your options.
No signal of a goal. No signal of a goal. Come on, wave it off.
There's
Wave it
just
off, you fucking
there's
pussies.
so much of the whole like western half of the United States whose sort of climate, whose water supply, whose agriculture even is just totally unsustainable.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I mean
Without the
unsustainable.
agriculture
Not,
is the
not
really
in the,
unsustainable part.
Yeah.
Not even in like the medium term. I mean like start
Coming up
worrying
quick.
about it. Yeah.
Coming up quick.
Yeah, she's coming up quick. Yeah.
No goal.
And once
Suck
you
that
get-
dick, Carolina.
Once you get past that 100th meridian, things get pretty dry pretty quick.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, it's only home to like hundreds of millions of people. So
California?
Yeah.
No, it's like 60 million, I think.
Well, the West as a whole, then.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, I see.
Like, even if you just do the West Coast, then.
Oh, I was way wrong.
Well,
It's only 40 million.
Huh. And
Well,
like,
we
they're
not
still
call-
the fifth largest economy in the world or something like that.
Right. Now, what I want to talk about, Roz, what do you hate?
It's a long list.
It's a long
list. Yeah, I don't even know what I don't even know what to say. I try not to keep the things that I hate too forward in my mind.
That's healthy.
They will make me angry.
I am
You're
the
like a
exact
monk.
opposite of
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Roz is perpetually in a state of sort of Zen-like perfect brain.
Right.
Anyway, back on topic. Alice, how could you get us off topic like that?
Sorry.
So what we now call California, especially Southern California, originally the land of the Tongva and Chumash tribes, right? And they were, I think they did a little bit of agriculture down there, not too much. I mean, you were generally pretty well off back then. But in the 1700s, of course, the Spanish came.
Whoa.
Right? And the Spanish put a bunch of missions and presidios and pueblos in there. You know, they subjugated and enslaved the natives. They did all the normal stuff. The Spanish were a little bit more direct about it than Americans were.
Yeah, but you'll still get like a tradcath guy on Twitter who's like, but they taught them all to read the expurgated versions of the Bible, so it's fine.
Right.
But so one of these missions on the mission trail was Nuestra Señora de Porciúncula de Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
Our Lady of Porciúncula of the Angels. I'm not sure what a Porciúncula is, but it is in there.
It has something to do with pigs, I bet.
Yeah, Our Lady of the Pig Pen of the Angels.
Yes.
No, it's because Our Lady of the Angels got that pork.
I'm
using pork as a slang for
stacked Lady of the Angels.
Yeah, Mary, just with that thickie boy.
Fantastic.
Thank you. My parents are not going to be happy that I made that joke.
So there was a change of political power. California was briefly part of Mexico. Then we do the Mexican-American War, and California is then under American control. Oh, somewhere in between, there was also a native rebellion by the Chumash, who managed to kick out both the Mexicans and the Spaniards, but only for like a little bit.
All of these guys are like designing shitloads of cool, weird flags that are now you can still go and see them or copies of them in various California like historical museums. Most notably the one with the fucked up bear that says California Republic that they, improved into the current state flag. But there's a bunch of these.
Yeah,
looking like I drew them. Yeah.
There's one that was like a sort of like Enlightenment age spiritually sort of like Mexican revolution against the Mexican government, which had like a tricolor with like Libertad on there. I think it looks cool.
So the Southern Pacific and the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe, they reached Los Angeles in the 1880s. They're thinking it's going to be a big port. It doesn't really become a big port. But then in 1892, all were discovered.
Oh, that's a shame.
Earl.
Yeah. So suddenly everyone's going to come to Southern California, get that oil, right?
And get that tan and eat avocado toast and whatever other superfood.
Yeah, but if you want to get rich in
avocado toast,
if you want to get rich in a gold rush or a silver rush or an oil rush, what you want to do?
Sell shovels
or sell railroad tickets
or water. So there was a big influx of people, right? And Los Angeles had been getting its water from the Los Angeles River, right? And if you ever seen the Los Angeles River, I mean, today, it's covered in concrete and you race hot rods towards a hole that's only wide enough for one car through it, right?
Yeah, people think it's like this trickle until there's a storm and then everybody who's like just down there dies.
Yes. But the other thing is, it is basically a trickle. And they didn't have the concrete lining back then, surprisingly. So a lot of that went into the ground.
Well, see, concrete wasn't invented until 1997.
19 BC.
Yeah, and then it was immediately
forgot
forgotten.
about it.
Yeah, because of calling back to a previous joke, it's just a totally lost art. Yeah.
It's weird how we haven't built a new curb since 1985.
Yes. So there's the Los Angeles River went over like a really broad floodplain. You can see in this early photograph down here. And you had,
that's
most
a creek. That's not even a fucking river.
Yeah, and it's like really tiny, but it has a huge.
I'm sorry, the nice
plain.
bucolic place is too small for you.
Yeah, what if we built some urban sprawl over this?
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah,
we'll get some chimichangas at 5 a.m. rather than like sit by this bucolic river.
A lot of the groundwater or the river lost a lot of its flow to groundwater by the time it reached the ocean, just 54 miles from its source, or 50 miles, and it was getting a little small. It disputed as to whether it could or could not actually serve the entire city, right? But certain people wanted more water in the Los Angeles area, right?
Yeah, this has been a recurring plot of Los Angeles sort of local governance. You should see the documentary Chinatown with Jack Nicholson for a great example.
Oh, great movie.
Or read Cadillac Desert, which I'm almost done with.
I don't know how to read.
So the city was going to have to look over the mountains to find more water.
Well, it was either that or become like a Gulf petrostate and develop desalinization plants in the 1890s.
Well, you'd need like 1890s nuclear power to do that.
That would be pretty sick, though.
Yeah. Orgone energy turns out to be real.
Would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, just unrelated to this, but we should Jared Leto. Anyway, go on.
All right.
to like the beeps in this episode are going to be quite something.
Yeah.
I obviously, Alice, I love you very dearly. You're one of my best friends.
Love you too.
Roz is my greatest friend, and I derive so much joy from simply annoying him because he always takes the bait when I do. But I'm just like following him around like a mosquito, like, hey,
this is true.
It's really annoying.
All right.
Anyway,
so
LA.
There's this thing called the Owens Valley.
Looks like shit.
It didn't used
LA.
to.
Oh. I kind of like it, actually.
So it's just east of the southern end of the San Joaquin Valley, California.
So just make it the same valley.
It's over here on the other side of the mountains.
And back in the day, this looked like fucking...
Yeah, no, I see this now.
Yellowstone or like Muir Woods or some shit like that.
Oh, Muir Woods is fucking sick.
It's called the Switzerland of California.
Jesus. It's like when you go to like the Highlands of Scotland and you're like, oh, this is starkly beautiful. And it's just, no, you're looking at something that has been badly terraformed to make it worse.
Yes.
See
also all of the eastern United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ask about American chestnuts.
Great Plains. Yeah.
So in the Owens Valley was the Owens River, right? Note I say was.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
I assume it got Mead Laked.
Yeah.
So the thing about communism, right, is that it's very bad for the environment because it destroyed the Azov Sea.
Azov Sea, that's what I was thinking of.
This would not be a comparable thing in capitalism before the Soviet Union existed. Certainly.
No.
Hey, it's Justin in post-production. Bad news for my co-hosts, who I will now embarrass. It's the Aral Sea, not the Sea of Azov, that the Soviet Union drained for irrigation. They must got Azov on the mind for some reason or another. Anyway, back to the show. So this was so the Owens River was fed by meltwater off the Sierras, and the Owens River drained uselessly into the Owens Lake, where it evaporated.
Love a useless lake that, incidentally, I assume just goes back and waters all of the various Switzerland.
Yeah, it also was a major stop-off point for migrating ducks and stuff like that.
Oh, well, fuck those.
It's also probably a great place to put your stolen Jewish gold.
Fuck those geese.
So they had some agriculture out there. There was some irrigation farming in the north of the valley. There was cattle ranching in the south of the valley, right? But
yeah,
there was
they're all
this
developing like Swiss American psychosis. They're all like talking to each other in fucking Romansh and shit.
Everything's timbered for some reason.
They got like some kind of weird minaret band going before they even met a Muslim
yeah,
person.
They're all voting SVP.
Yeah, they have a strange town meeting, which is extremely democratic, except no women are allowed.
Yeah, women can't vote even less than they can vote in the rest of the United States at this time.
This is true, yes. Then we have this guy named William Mulholland, right?
Is this for whom
namesake of Mulholland Drive?
Yes. There we go. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So William Mulholland was an engineer who was self-taught. He was from Belfast.
Oh, the best kind of engineer.
Yeah. So he worked as a seaman on Atlantic crossings, as well as eventually worked on the Great Lakes. But he came to Los Angeles and quickly found himself as the deputy Zanjero, right?
What does that mean?
So the Zanjero is a guy who manages the Zanya.
All right, dude, right. I speak one language and I don't do it real well. You gotta have to dumb it down for me.
A Zanya is a water irrigation trench.
Oh, yes, of course. How did I not know?
Yeah.
Forget the dude, Los Angeles was like...
Lasagna is a delicious pasta dish.
No, that's lasagna.
No, that's a please not belittle the Italian people, Roz.
Weird that it was all still, which of course, being a feminine word, would be referred to as lasagna.
I don't fucking know, dude.
It's a feminine trench.
Again, I speak. Oh, a feminine trench.
Yeah,
trying to bust that feminine trench wide open.
It is weird how much of like city like governance was still run on Hispanophone lines like this late into.
They should
still
bring
big
that word.
white supremacy.
It's a good name.
What is Zanjero?
A Zanjero, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you were, I forgot the J was a H and not a Y. Okay.
Easy. Yeah.
Zanjero.
Look at the bright side. Right. You're doing better than I would have, Roz.
I don't speak Spanish.
No, none of us.
we got to get Emma back on to like do all of the Spanish for this.
Please pronounce this word for me. I was once, and that person will know who if they still listen to this show. I was once in Mississippi with a friend of mine, seeing the Ole Miss. Fresno State game, which Ole Miss won something like 76-13. And we were going back to the car to drive back to Philly, and there are these two drunk girls sort of arguing, and the one says, like, come on, play, and then like the southern accent, and we turn to each other, and he goes, can you like talk into this microphone for like 5 to 7 minutes? That's all I need. That's all I need, really. And now that everyone knows what things I like again, please direct your thirst traps to Roz once again.
So he was the deputy Zanjero of the Los Angeles City Water Company.
Sure.
Which was eventually municipalized.
And Anglophonized.
Yeah, into the Los Angeles Water Department, where he found himself as superintendent. Right.
So it's not as cool as Zanjero.
No, but he is moving
nowhere near as cool. Yeah. So he saw some opportunity here, though. And then he had all this power, and he also had the ear of the mayor, right? Because between the water superintendent and the mayor,
in my Robert Moses villain arc,
hotly disputed as to who had more power. But they're both
in my Robert Moses villain arc.
So if we need more water in Los Angeles, which they probably didn't, why not divert the Owens River to Los Angeles? All you need is 233 miles of aqueduct.
Yeah, I mean, think like a Roman. It's easy. You just divert. You just build a big aqueduct, diverse a river into it, and everything's fine.
Yeah, easy peasy. Except
don't ask
Romans,
what happened to any of the rest of the areas of
please do not.
Italy around Rome. Don't ask what happened to Latium at all.
Yeah, or eventual irrigation failures from too much mineral buildup. Stuff like that.
We said not to worry about it.
The fact that much like a sort of a Dark Souls game, they just ended up with a shitload of poison swamps outside of Rome.
That's kind of cool, though.
We should do an episode on that.
The brackish swamps where everybody fucking got malaria, and like everyone who writes about them is like, this is a death sentence to even go in here. The only people who go in here are criminals and the most desperate people in the entire empire. Those brackish swamps, the Pontine Marshes, I think they're called.
Think about how well they repel invaders, though.
Yeah.
Actually, not very well because
dying
Rome
of
fell.
malaria because you're on the wrong side. Shit swamp.
Oh, that'll do it.
That would suck, dude. That would be a hell of a way to die.
So they were going to do 233 miles of aqueduct, right? And so Mulholland and Mayor Frederick Eden hatched a plan.
I feel like I never like when anyone hatches a plan.
No.
Yeah.
And a scheme.
Los Angeles was a growing city. They need more water, but Mulholland drastically overstated the problem in order to get the infrastructure built and built really quickly.
Some classic doomsaying. We're all gonna die of thirst any second now if I can't build this shit yesterday.
But in the meantime, he also assured the farmers of the Owens Valley that the city would only be taking the excess from the lake, preserving their lives and livelihoods, which was a complete fabrication designed mainly to throw off the farmers, but also to throw off the Bureau of Reclamation, which is the big federal dam building agency that did irrigation projects, because the Bureau of Reclamation wanted to do a dam up there as well, right? And Mulholland was like, no, we got to get this first. They're going to take our water.
It's ours and you can't have it.
Yeah.
County and city power grab over like various rural people who don't matter. And of course, the federal government, who is very easy to outwit all the time.
This is true. Actually, this is a whole thing, the whole plot here. You got to go like read Cadillac Desert on this one, because the Bureau of Reclamation was actually very good at getting very bad projects built, and a lot of them. And this is one of the ones they didn't get. So they built this Los Angeles aqueduct, right?
Sure.
I see here at the very top, Mono Lake. It's the lake that gives you mono, and we have to give.
No, Alice, it's because they drained Stereo Lake. The good news, though, is that Dolby Atmos Lake is still around and kicking.
That was actually part of the extension from the original Los Angeles aqueduct. Goes up the Mono Lake, and they had to build the aqueduct through an active volcano.
No thanks. No thanks.
They're like, we need some water that gives you mono.
Yeah. So this is one of those projects that has a lot of statistics, right? 233 miles of aqueducts, 24-mile of open unlined canal, 37 miles of lined open canal, 97 miles of covered concrete conduit, 43-mile of concrete tunnels, 12-mile of steel siphons, 120 miles of railroad track, 2 hydroelectric plants, 3 cement plants, 170 miles of power lines, 240 miles of telephone lines, 500 miles of roads.
Hell yeah, New Rome.
Jesus.
Yeah, and they built it all
in a day
with guys with hammers and teams of mules.
Incredible.
We used to be a proper country.
Yeah. We used to be a country of muleteers.
Yeah. So
a broken bed on a Halifax pier.
Yeah.
Barrett's muleteers during the like Mexican-American War. Yeah.
Now, the plan here theoretically was to provide the city with water, but Mulholland's real plan is we're going to irrigate the San Fernando Valley just outside of Los Angeles, right? They're going to take the water, they're going to dump it in the San Fernando Valley. It goes in the aquifer. You can pump it back up at your leisure, right?
Sure.
And then, best of all, no evaporation, right?
Interesting.
But the way they outwitted the Bureau of Reclamation meant that they couldn't legally use the water outside the city limits.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah,
because I've often asked myself, why is it that Los Angeles is like this urban sprawl where it just has like it expands beyond all reason geographically?
Is this one of those cases like we see in Phoenix of just the city expanding and expanding and expanding?
Yeah, they just started
for sort of legal reasons to get the water access.
Yeah, they annexed the entire San Fernando Valley, and people who had connections with like the mayor's office and the water department they just bought up a whole shitload of land that was suddenly now extremely valuable because you had all this free irrigation from this enormous, shitty aqueduct project that didn't really need to be built.
Right. Once again, one of the only video games in history, Fallout New Vegas, understands a lot more about sort of California politics and what California is as a sort of like great beast shambling towards Bethlehem in the form of the new California Republic than a lot of people like give it credit for.
So
yeah, but then I had to play New Vegas.
Yeah, but it rules though.
Okay.
You just have to modify it until it's good. It'll take you like it takes you like 2 to 3 months tops.
I like New Vegas. I like 76 too, and people, I've always thought that the criticism of 76, whether or not anyone wants to admit it, had a lot more to do with how they announced it than anything about the game itself.
I'm not going to play Fallout 76 because, I'm not going to play a multiplayer game. I'm not that social of a person. Thank you.
You have a podcast, Alice. Talk to 2 dudes for. Yeah, it's fine. Fine. Go on, Ross.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be like, hey, do you want to play Fallout 76 with me?
That's rude. I'd ask you.
I mean, if you ask me, I might do it, but I don't know. I want to fuck around on my own with a video game.
Play the greatest multiplayer video game of all time, Railroads Online.
Okay. The day they make Cities Skylines 2 with a multiplayer component, and you're just sitting there doing your perfect little urbanism, and I just run a freeway through John, and John's house, and ruin your entire shit, then I'll get into multiplayer games.
You're a monster.
So, meantime, right? You got these farmers in the Owens Valley, and they were like, Los Angeles is going to take all our water.
Yeah, and they were right.
They were right. Yeah. So once they started really buying up water rights up there, and a lot of people wouldn't sell, you had this organized contingent of farmers who started going down to the aqueduct and they started blowing it up.
Oh, shit. Yeah. All of these pissed off guys who have like dynamite and presumably because they're Swiss halberds.
You could just buy dynamite at the store.
Yeah, you could just buy a shitload of
municipal infrastructure,
cocaine eye drops, a fully automatic machine gun.
My soul's got ghosts in them.
Dynamite, just some arsenic for the roads. It was. I won't say it was a better time in American history, but it was a more unpredictable time in American history.
For better or worse, absolutely, man. It's important to to recognize when you need to kill the cocaine ghosts.
Absolutely.
So they were really pissed off because, number one, they thought that this water was going to Los Angeles for people to for drinking water, for municipal use. And what it was actually being used for was irrigation, right?
Yeah, competing with you.
Yeah, they took their beautiful, vibrant valley, right? And they just took all the water and moved it somewhere else to turn their beautiful, shitty desert into a beautiful, vibrant farming valley, right?
Yeah, they just literally they took the biome out from under you.
Yeah, they took our biome.
Those bastards.
So yeah, and these fields that they were irrigated were primarily owned by a bunch of well-connected monopolists.
No, what?
Yeah, wow.
Just the fact that you get to decide where this water's going allows you the easiest possible method of insider trading at a time when that's barely even illegal.
And it all goes to a field owned by a little family company called Southern Pacific Railroad.
Just a real mom and pop operation, and the pop is called Cornelius.
Yes. Yeah, it all goes to I think it was also Pacific Electric owned a bunch of the fields as well. They started developing that shit pretty early on.
It's funny how that works.
So
your real sort of gangster capitalism, this is purely a racketeering.
Yeah. So now the California water wars went on for a good amount of time, but by 1928,
sorry, the first California water wars.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Let me just lay that marker down right now.
Yeah, I think that's important.
So they they went on for a while, but eventually the big Inyo County Bank in Bishop went completely bankrupt because they had been fundraising for the farmers who were blowing shit up.
Terrorist connected financial institution.
They were doing a whole bunch of embezzlement on at the same time.
But listen, nobody's perfect.
So when the bank went under, basically everyone in Owens Valley went under with it because we didn't have the FDIC yet.
No
God.
rules whatsoever. Yeah. You can
Cocaine
just do whatever you wanted.
I have a little sniffle, so I'm gonna take my my cough syrup laced with heroin, and I'm gonna have a good ass Wednesday night.
You can still have this experience if you get into crypto. It's exactly the same lack of any sort of protections. Yeah.
So
you can have your apes sold out from under you to Los Angeles County.
And the cocaine goes.
Wow, I had so much water rights attached to my apes.
I don't know.
all my water
Elon
gone.
Musk, please help.
All my acre feet gone. So after this, the farmers weren't able to hold out for very long. They all wound up having to sell out to Los Angeles. Some of them held out until the 30s, and they got really good deals. Most of the people who sold out before were like, this is hopeless, and they sold out for much less than they were worth.
Right.
And you get to have that sort of like late 20s, early 30s Grapes of Wrath California experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many of those fucking Okies weren't even Okies? They were just from like California's Switzerland.
Just from various spots that were being drained.
Yeah.
By 1928, Los Angeles had 90% of the water rights in the Owens Valley.
That's a colony. Meaningfully, that is a colony.
That's basically a colony, yeah. Nearly the entire Owens River was flowing into Los Angeles, right? And this is a huge undertaking because not only this aqueduct is mostly gravity fed, but you have also a point where you have to pump it over the mountains.
Right.
And then it comes back down. It's like a crazy system. The Owens Valley dried up into a desert. Owens Lake dried up entirely. And of course, that was a highly saline lake, right? And the salt and the minerals down at the bottom are actually extremely toxic. So it's now like the largest source of particulate pollution in the United States.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But, this project was incredibly successful for certain well-connected people in Los Angeles, right?
Oh, it always is, man.
Yeah. And
the wheels of time keep on turning, baby.
Yeah. I think for the first 10 years of the project that the city of Los Angeles didn't actually take a single drop of water out of the aqueduct. It all went to irrigation.
It's all going to orange groves, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, it's Justin. So this is a commercial for the podcast that you're already listening to. People are annoyed by these, so let me get to the point. We have this thing called Patreon, right? The deal is you give us $2 a month, and we give you an extra episode once a month. Sometimes it's a little inconsistent, but it's $2. You get what you pay for. It also gets you our full back catalog of bonus episodes, so you can learn about exciting topics like guns, pickup trucks, or pickup trucks with guns on them. The money we raise through Patreon goes to making sure that the only ad you hear on this podcast is this one. Anyway, that's something to consider if you have $2 to spare each month. Join at patreon.com/WTYP pod. Do it if you want. Or don't. It's your decision, and we respect that. Back to the show. It also allowed Mulholland to gain almost single-handed control over the water supply in Los Angeles because it was such a successful project. And furthermore, he was doing this through a municipal agency.
I love to live in sort of Los Angeles and go drive down Harkonnen Boulevard, named after the city fathers.
Since he was doing this through a municipal agency, he and his engineers were exempt from all state safety regulations.
Yep. I knew some bullshit was coming.
Yeah, there was
It's got like 1 or 2 bodies a month just float down this fucking aqueduct.
Robert Moses throat goat mode.
Mm-hmm. Big
you gotta
slap.
take the good with the bad. I assume there's some good here. I don't know.
Well,
Probably not,
the modern city of Los Angeles.
You've been doing this show for like 105 episodes. You know, there's no good that's going to come of any of this.
You can drive 15 minutes to go and pay like $50 for a cocktail.
This is true.
Oh, you're using Amaro in all your cocktails? So is everybody fucking else.
I'm
so tired of fucking
the
Amaro,
hostess
dude.
be rude to you.
I am so tired of Amaro. Okay, it's not that fucking good.
You could get harassed by the LAPD for walking anywhere. You could build a tent. You could build a tent city. That's cool. You could do that.
You could win Stanley Cups, even though no one in your city gives a shit about hockey. You could have 2 professional football teams, even though no one in your city gives a shit about football. Fucking Dodgers.
You could go to In-N-Out Burger.
You could have Silver Lake, and you could generate people with the weirdest Twitter accounts in the world. You could do that. You could. I mean, listen, there's no limit.
Are endless.
No,
you could live in a bungalow.
You could work in Hollywood in the industry, and they call it the industry because of how important it is.
Do they really?
You could,
they call it the industry.
I'm gonna kill myself.
You could get stuck in traffic for a long time.
Yeah, you could do that.
Why did you say that? Hopefully,
Los Angeles, California. Sorry. Let me get my newsreel on. Los Angeles, California.
Burn it.
It's a great place to move to. Well, yeah.
Nature's Planned Paradise. Yeah. So William Mulholland and Frederick Eaton had a pretty good relationship when they were water superintendent and mayor, respectively, right? But Eaton decided at some point he's going to step down, and he retired to a ranch.
Okay, sure.
It was a ranch where Mulholland wanted to create a reservoir.
What? That's such a fucking like last act twist in this sort of like modern Western movie. It's like he can't even fucking retire in peace without the guy trying to flood his fucking farm.
Well, so and there was a lot of water coming into the city at this point, and the city was again not really using any of the water from the aqueduct except for the growers.
Too much water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Mulholland wanted to create a reservoir to have some storage in case there was a drought or if these damn farmers
California never
shut off the aqueduct, right? So Eaton and a couple other ranchers, they wanted an exorbitant price for their ranches. Eaton wanted, I believe, $1 million. Right.
Well, do you remember what year this was? This would have been like the 1890s, 1900s, right?
1928 or so. No, this is
$1 million.
Before that, 1924.
Damn, okay.
1928
my goddamn remains actually
dollars today, multiplied by about 16. So you're on about $16 million.
Right. Yeah.
Gotta feel that cocaine ghosts. Have it somehow.
Well, Mulholland disagreed with the price. He thought they were extorting the city. So Mulholland kept pressuring Eaton to sell for lower, and Eaton kept holding out. This was a back and forth that went on for a couple years until Mulholland and Eaton no longer would speak to each other, right?
Wow.
Mulholland realized,
Yeah.
Mulholland realized he wasn't going to get the land for the price he wanted, so he settled for another reservoir site, the San Francisco Valley, right?
I see it here. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-oh. That's the name on the... No, I won't ruin it.
Yeah. So the intention had been to build a small reservoir at this site, right? But rapid land development meant in Mulholland's mind, we need a bigger one, right? And the St. Francis Dam was only the second one to be built by the Bureau of Water Works and Supply. All the engineering was done in-house. The reservoir was going to hold 32,000 acre feet of water.
What the fuck is an acre foot?
Yeah.
So an acre foot is 1 foot of water spread over 1 acre.
Huh.
Okay.
That's a weird ass unit of measurement.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a standard unit of measurement for water resource development in the United States.
That's so weird as shit, Ross. You understand that, right?
Yes.
So they're just gonna they're gonna fill up the San Francisquito Canyon, and then they're gonna dam it with the St. Francis Dam, and it's gonna fill, right?
Actually, they're gonna dam it first and then fill it, but you have the idea.
Okay.
You can't do one without doing the other one first.
Well, you just get a guy to like hold all of the water back by force of will, and then you build the dam while he's doing that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Doing great. Now build it. Go, hold it.
Yeah, we just got this,
just put up a top. Put up a top. It's fine.
Yeah, we got this guy in from Israel. His name is Moses.
He's not cheap, but I hear he does good work.
Yeah, he gets results. Yeah,
as long as he doesn't go near any rocks.
Yeah.
Hey, we've built this cool golden bull to celebrate all of your hard work on this project, Moses.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. So on paper, this looked like a really good site. It's a relatively narrow valley, right, which could hold back a pretty big reservoir for the size of the structure.
Sure. Like what else, it's not like you're damming the Colorado River here. This sort of thing which is impossible and which will never be done.
Right. Yeah. So with the other reservoir on Eden's land being unbuilt, Mulholland decided the easiest thing would be to add 10 feet to the top of this dam to make up the difference. Right?
Yeah, so you get a higher reservoir.
Exactly. You get more acre feet.
This is me fucking with the sort of hydroelectric dam and city skylines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All of the water feels like really lumpy. It takes ages for the physics simulation to settle.
The dam went up without any fanfare so as to avoid angering of the Owens Valley farmers who might be trying to sabotage the project.
Just
right?
You open this shit and it just gets dynamited immediately.
Yeah.
Farm Liberation Front.
When it was done, it was 182 feet tall. It impounded a full 38,000 acre feet of water. And it was something you would call a gravity dam, right? It has a curved shape to it, but that curve doesn't have any structural strength. This thing is holding back the water by the sheer mass of the dam, right?
You're a fine motherfucker when you back that mass up.
Yes.
Thank you, Alice.
I'm just here for the yes.
Yeah. Well, Roz has no appreciation for bad early 2000s pop.
So
if I were singing Steely Dan, though, I think he'd just get mad at me.
This is true.
I hate that they've managed to spill water on the front side of the dam. So,
we'll get to that.
Okay.
Why they're called spillways.
Yeah.
I have no idea if that's why they're called spillways or not.
That's not a spillway.
Yeah, that's why I was making a joke.
That's a leak.
God. Okay, fine. That's fine. I'll just go fuck myself.
All right. They started filling the reservoir, and it was largely without incident, right? There was an acceptable amount of seepage around the dam. Was sort of the idea. There was some seepage, but it was like, okay, this is expected, whatever, right?
Oh, ask me about my Friday nights.
There were a couple cracks in the structure, again, well within tolerances, right? But by May of 1927, it was within 3 feet of capacity, right? The dam was functioning, the hydroelectric turbines were running, the water was impounded. But in the May of 1927, that was also the height of the water wars, right? That's when farmers dynamited
the first
water wars.
That was when farmers dynamited a few large sections of the aqueduct, right?
Fuck, that rules.
So that the dam had to fulfill its function to provide irrigation water during a disruption, right? Again, none of this is municipal water at this point, or very little of it, right? None of this is strictly needed by anyone.
No, this is needed to make like cheap orange groves.
Yes. So over the summer, the reservoir was drawn down significantly as farmers, kept the aqueduct dynamited over and over again.
Yes.
And anyone who came in to repair it, they were just like, get the hell out of here.
That rules.
Yeah, big fan.
Sitting around a truck with some shotguns,
Are you lost? A, would you like to buy some oranges? B, are you lost?
Well, they were defeated financially, of course, after the Inyo County Bank collapsed in August of 28.
God damn it.
You know, so that bank, again, it bankrupted everyone in Inyo County. So then they started filling the reservoir back up again after they started repairing the aqueduct, right? But the small leaks from before were now getting bigger. By March of 1928, the reservoir was full and the leaks were concerning, right?
Do we know when this photo was taken? Is this a small leak we're looking at here or a big leak?
I am pretty sure this was one of the small leaks that Mulholland said was probably fine.
Okay.
But
the sort of calico cut pants of dams here.
Yeah. So one leak in the wing dike, which is over here, right?
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, we're not allowed
me
to make
when I
any
get
jokes.
My pilot's license. Thank you. Here all night.
Go off.
Listen, we're talking about.
We're not doing a hate crime, Roz. We're not doing a hate crime, Roz. We're not doing a hate crime, Roz.
It's what it's called.
I know.
Wing dike,
yeah. So there's been a leak in it. It had been just discharging about 10 cubic feet of water per second for a month at this point.
Oh, I hate when my dike gets wet.
I was going to say I hate when my dike gets discharged, but
well, yeah, no, definitely. Well, my dike has a concerning discharge.
Yeah. Is it blood or is it poop? Let's find out.
And another leak was discovered on March 12th, 1928 by dam keeper Tony Harnischfeger.
I forgot that everybody in California was fucking German at this point. This is the only kind of mass immigration I oppose was when the United States just started importing Germans and became way
signed
normal.
He's German, but his name is Italian.
Oh, yeah, Tony Harnischfeger.
Yeah, he's
that's
Italian,
the most
German,
Swiss thing, really.
That is pretty Swiss, yeah.
That is Swiss.
Yeah. So this one, Tony thought this one was pretty concerning, right?
Hey, Tone, we got a big leak in the dike, Tone.
So the other leaks had run clear. This one was brown and muddy, and the flow was inconsistent.
Oh, you wouldn't want a brown and muddy discharge.
No. Probably see your gynecologist about that.
Yeah.
Indicated possible erosion. Right?
Sure.
That could be a scenario where the water was coming around the abutments of the dam and then eroding it slowly. And then that's not a good situation.
No.
For a dam to be
you have earth moving, which you don't want it to do.
Exactly. So Harnischfeger called Mulholland, and Mulholland, and assistant chief engineer and general manager Harvey Van Norman drove out to the dam and took a look at it.
I want to point out here that on the second mention you've had a typo and you call him Van Normal, which I much prefer.
Very German.
Harvey. There's Harvey Van Normal.
Not into any exotic sex crimes. Yeah,
this is Van Normal actually.
So Mulholland took a look at the leak and he was like, "This is not good, but it doesn't need to be fixed immediately. Start drawing up plans to fix it like tomorrow or something, right?" He said the water was probably discolored from contact with a freshly graded access road, right?
Oh, one of these up here. Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. He's like, okay, we need to address the problem, but it's not indicative of imminent catastrophic failure, right? So Mulholland and Van Normal returned home to Los Angeles. And Harnischfeger went to his family's house, which was just a quarter mile below the dam, right?
This guy's like to have a house at a minute, isn't he?
I don't like that that's how we express the sort of relative location of his house.
I also think there was one situation where I didn't quite figure out how this one worked, but the dam did spring a very tiny leak early on that was predicted. And they actually just ran a pipe from the leak directly to his house for like his water supply.
Fuck that rules.
Here you go. Here's your water delivery. All right, see you. Bye.
It's free. Anyway, all right. Yeah, so 2.5 minutes before midnight on that same day, the dam catastrophically failed.
Oh, wow. It really did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Shout out to the guy who built that one sort of like gap tooth section of dam, because that fucking stayed up.
They referred to this as the tombstone.
That's encouraging.
Yes. So, yeah, there are no eyewitness accounts.
Because they all got.
Yes, everyone got pretty hard. They only figured out the timing by when a transformer exploded at a nearby substation after a voltage drop.
Oh, because it was a hydroelectric power station too, right? Yeah. Okay.
There was essentially no warning, right? The St. Francis Reservoir was now on the move.
All 38,000 acre feet, whatever the fuck that is, of it is now heading downstream. All
right, so 140 feet of water slammed into Tony Harnischweger's house, killing him and his family instantly.
I mean, at least they probably didn't know about it. Like, at least it happened in the middle of the night. You're just dead. You just don't wake up. Fine, I guess.
It then proceeded here to this nice, handsome building. This is Powerhouse 2.
Oh, that is handsome.
And this is Powerhouse 2 afterwards.
Oh.
That killed 64 out of 67 workers and their families who lived nearby. It also cut power to Los Angeles.
Where the fuck were the other 3?
I have no idea. Maybe they're at the top working on the pipes or something.
Oh, true.
Oh, you'd hate that. Yeah.
It's the most thrilling moment of your life, and the worst, and the last.
I'd probably hate being in the powerhouse more. I'm going to be honest with you. So power was cut to all of Los Angeles, and then the people working at the substation, they managed to restore it. But then the flood destroyed the transmission lines downstream a little bit so the power went out again.
Indeed, a mysterious act of God's love.
I like how it's on a time scale where it's just sort of like slow enough to be like, fuck you.
Mulholland and Van Norman arrived at the scene of disaster at 2:30 in the morning, and they saw there's no reservoir anymore, and the dam was gone.
Just like, didn't we leave it here? Dude, where's my reservoir?
It was here this morning.
You have to imagine looking at this and imagining some Swiss motherfucker with a load of dynamite has blown up my dam, right?
Again,
that was one of the first theories, actually.
That makes sense.
The contents of the reservoir continued their march towards the sea, picking up the town
much like Sherman.
Yeah. They picked up the town of Castiac Junction. They picked up a Southern California Edison work camp. They picked up the towns of Buckhorn, Fillmore, Santa Paula, and then dumped it all in the Pacific Ocean at the town of Ventura.
Shit, Jesus.
Having traveled about 54 miles over 5.5 hours.
That is terrifyingly slow is the main thing. Like 5.5 hours, you'd think that might have been enough time to like get some people out of the way, but nope, not enough.
By the end of it, by the time it got to about Fillmore, there was a significant evacuation effort. But there was again, this was like a sudden catastrophic flood, the likes of which no one could ever have seen before. So I think the total death toll was somewhere around 431 people.
Wow.
Yeah. It's actually less than I would have expected.
That's what I figured. Yeah. I would have expected way more.
They also didn't find a lot of the bodies, right?
So it could be higher than that.
Yeah, the last body confirmed to be a victim of the disaster was found in the 50s.
Wow.
And I think the last body suspected to be a victim of the disaster was found in 1994.
Jesus.
Just got shaken up to the top by an earthquake or whatever.
No, they found like bodies that were like 50 feet under silt.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks.
Not good. Not a great situation to be in.
No, I would not enjoy being under 50 feet of silt.
No,
that's my personal opinion. And a lot of these people, I guess, I imagine, just ended up in the Pacific.
Oh yeah, and then they just got ate by a shark or something.
Crabs,
big crabs,
sharks.
Yeah. Well, I don't like that.
No, you don't.
I think I'd rather be eaten by crabs than be under 50 feet of silt. Like,
I'll take the 50.
I'm dead. It doesn't matter. Like,
that's true.
Still, though, if I get a say in what my dead ass skeleton is, I'm going with like eaten by crabs over that. To be honest.
Well, then you got to be a cool skeleton.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they can pick all of the like me off of me, and I'm just a cool skeleton. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then some turf's going to be like, oh, they're going to tell that you are like biologically male from your dead ass skeleton. Like, okay, fine.
Well,
I'm still dead and you're still an asshole.
Digging down like through 50 feet of silt just to misgender me.
You gotta at some point, I guess, appreciate the chutzpah. But
so that's commitment. I mean, really, if you're going to misgender me at any time after I'm dead, is probably like my favorite one.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So that
why did this happen though?
So all that was left of the dam was this big
like Ron's going,
concrete.
We'll get to that.
This big concrete chunk that was standing there. They just called it the tombstone, and they had to demolish it later because too many tourists were coming to take pictures of it.
Yeah, I'd do that. Yeah. I'd do that shit.
I'd definitely do that. Yeah, my big 1920s camera with like the, the thing you have to hold up that does the flash.
The flash bulb. Yeah,
flash bulb.
But one of the problems with this disaster is that at the time we didn't necessarily have the science necessary to determine what was a good dam site and what wasn't. Right. Soil mechanics was sort of in its infancy. Right.
Yeah, as opposed to now when it's kind of in its like difficult teenage years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when I took soil mechanics in college, most of the stuff in the textbooks was from like the 90s. Most of modern soil mechanics is fairly recently developed. But we're actually unsure, even to this day, exactly what caused the dam to come down.
Interesting.
Poor construction, dynamite.
So the construction was good. The foundations were not.
Okay.
We wouldn't have had the knowledge of
You wouldn't have the knowledge at the time to determine if the rock was as unstable or porous as it was, right? And Mulholland, for his part, he took all the blame and seemed as baffled as anyone else as to why the dam failed.
I mean, that's a great American right there. It's like, a terrible thing has happened. I am baffled. I have no clue what has happened.
I don't know what
is happening at any time.
Stop yelling at me, goddammit.
I am harnessed to historical processes that are beyond my or anyone's understanding or control. Yes.
That's when you really want to invoke historical materialism, is when you're being criminally prosecuted.
Really, in a way, you should prosecute society.
Yes.
Have you guys heard of social murder?
But Judge, in a way, society itself is a prison.
Yeah. I sentence you to 50 years of society.
Yeah. Therefore, I'm not. Yeah. I don't know. I just realized, no, the defendant can't demand house arrest.
Trial by combat.
For this damn trial by combat. Yeah. Well, the subsequent inquiry cleared Mulholland of any criminal penalties, but his career was ruined.
Right.
Yeah. So he retired.
Remember when we could still do that?
Yeah. They retired him on December 1st, 1928, but they kept him on as a consultant. But what we do know is the regulations this disaster spawned, right? Civil engineering came under state purview after this, right?
Big government breathing down the neck of the humble engineer.
Yes.
You can't be a recreational dam designer anymore. You have to go to college.
You have to go to college.
Like some kind of asshole.
The California Department of Public Works was given authority over all non-federal dams in the state of California. The federal government could still do whatever the fuck it wanted because that's how the federal government works.
Yep.
And in 1929, they created the State Board of Registration for Civil Engineers. So the days of unrestricted, unregulated engineering were over.
This is bullshit.
At least below the federal level.
Yeah, the Army Corps of Engineers can still do whatever the fuck it wants. To this day.
Yeah. Yeah. And
everybody else has to get like a crimper or whatever.
Yeah. And the Bureau of Reclamation as well, but they don't do so much anymore. Now
we have to go to nerd school to learn how to put two bricks on top of each other. Fuck
off. St. Francis Dam was not rebuilt, and the nearly identical Weed Canyon Dam had its reservoir.
Weed Canyon?
Weed Canyon. That's weed with an I.
That's nice.
It had its reservoir partially drained and the concrete face covered in dirt. And that still stands today as the Mulholland Dam, holding back Hollywood. That holds back Hollywood Reservoir.
That's adding insult to injury to name it after the guy, I feel.
Oh, he's got that. He's got
Mulholland Drive.
He's
Mulholland Tunnel, if you're not really paying attention.
Mulholland Drive with the scene, you know, the one I'm talking about. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, what did we learn?
What did we learn? There was another interesting thing I was going to say, and I forgot what it was.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
California is a devouring monster. So too is Los Angeles, the most Californian part of California. Fuck you, San Francisco. You're not as important as you think you are. Likewise, the Silicon Valley.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I do not respect Los Angeles or its residents.
That's right.
That's right.
Wait, doesn't friend of the show Noah live in LA?
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Noah.
Yeah, Noah, go fuck yourself specifically.
And you really, like, if the government says that you need to know what you're doing to be a professional engineer, they don't know what they're talking about. We're entering an era of unprecedented libertarianism in public life, and I think it's time now more than ever to bring back the amateur engineer.
Of course.
Just build some public works. Just fuck around, see what happens. What's the worst that can happen?
Failing is not a crime, I say, as my bridge sinks into
the Delaware. Listen, drowning a bunch of people, that they were gonna fucking drown anyway eventually because of climate change. Probably.
Did you also watch The Dropout, Alice?
You live in California, a place with now 365 wildfire days a year, and you're gonna complain to me about drowning in a drought? Fuck off! You don't cry because you got what you wanted. All right,
oh my God.
This thing really epitomizes the Silicon Valley mindset of move fast and break things.
That's absolutely.
Because they finished it pretty fast and it broke.
Mm-hmm. The water also really embodied that mindset. So.
This is true. Yeah, it was moving. I was only going about 18 miles an hour. That's not very fast.
Move slow and break things, which is really more of my ethos.
Also, yep.
Like scuttle and break things.
I don't know what I'm doing. Slowly tossing shit out of windows.
Yeah.
Slowly roll downhill and break
things.
Where Bruins cast went, it's still 0-0 and there's 8:05 left in the second.
Incredible.
Love hockey. Any fight? Does anyone have their dentistry rearranged yet?
No. All right, let's put a bow on this bitch.
Yeah. We have a segment on this podcast called Safety Third.
But I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person was torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
What?
I did the thing again. That's that is North Queensland MP Bob Catter there. Excuse me.
Shake hands for danger.
Thank you.
The worst thing is he was talking about gay marriage, right? And he was talking about how he wasn't opposed to it. And he said, and it was this really like a weird change of tone where he goes, listen, let 1,000 blossoms bloom, but I ain't spending any more time on it because every 3 months a person is torn to pieces.
Got his priorities in order.
I love Australia. It's the best country in the world. It's got so much happening.
You know what happens in Florida? They pay too much attention to gay marriage, and people get eaten by crocodiles all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All this like fucking critical race theory, like trans kids bullshit. You're really you're neglecting the crocodile threat, Ron DeSantis. That's what you're doing.
Florida's the one that has crocodiles and alligators, right?
Yeah, you're neglecting two separate. It's like a two-front war.
Two separate, very large lizards.
The Everglades, baby.
Yeah. Two entire species of huge man-eating lizards, and you're here talking about trans bathrooms. My God, get your priorities straight.
Irresponsible.
Very bad governance.
Should have the Florida Air National Guard try to like bomb them from Cessnas or something.
Bear Patrol.
Yeah.
But for alligators.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out bear mace doesn't work on gators so good. And other lessons I learned while I lost my hand.
Well,
cool hook though.
There you go. You do get a cool hook. Hello, Alice, Liam, Roz, and guest.
It's wrong. No guest.
Yeah. I've been listening to your wonderful podcast since episode 1, and I want to submit the best personal experience I have for a safety third.
Hell yes.
It's a computer safety story, which is a little different from the others, but I hope it's still suitable for the segment. It is, fine. We're including it.
Everybody works on computers. It's fine.
Yeah, it's the only job anymore is going on the computer.
Yeah, so they're going on the computer. Have an email job.
Oh my God. I was like, I was coming out of a funk over the weekend, and I was like, I just really don't want to go on a computer today. And then I had to be on a computer the whole day.
Yeah. Well, you're so pretty, and I love you so much. Is that helpful at all?
Thank you.
It's very rewarding for us to go on the computer. That's the main thing.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
both
how
socially and financially. Yeah.
Yes. I'll start with some background information. My father worked as a database administrator for a French company that sold private jets. The
French private jet company.
The company
drawing a blank, not important.
Was headquartered in Paris, but had several office and manufacturing locations in the United States where I am located. At these locations, the operating managers were usually French employees trying to bolster their resume. There's got accents on the E's here because it's French, right?
Sure.
Otherwise, I'd say resume. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were known for being especially carefree and incompetent.
That's the best management structure. We've just installed this like dipshit from Nice. In on top of you. Perfect.
He doesn't know anything except sexual harassment. Also, shut up. I like the French. Fortunately, it's my greatest shame.
While my father worked there, he noticed a few concerning red flags about the company's information security. Like other departments, creating and using insecure databases that IT did not know about, and easily guessable passwords being used for shared computers and accounts.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. However, he did not realize how bad it was. The company suffered a small ransomware attack that did not affect critical operations, but was big enough to be annoying and embarrassing.
Ransomware as a concept is so fucking funny to me.
It's really funny, yeah.
It's just like, you're too bad at being on the computer. Now you have to give me all your money.
Yes.
That's great. It's my favorite. It's the funniest form of crime.
It's really funny, but also don't do it to us because we're bad at going on the computer.
Please do not do that. We are terrible at going on the computer. On the other hand, what are they going to fucking hold hostage? What data do we hold? We have, I guess, the videos themselves.
Yeah.
We upload those. Like
this is
you could download those with a YouTube extension. We don't care.
Yeah.
Well, they could.
I guess you could make a pirate feed of the bonus episodes, of which I'm sure there's already several floating around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a YouTube playlist.
Yeah, we don't care that much.
You don't give out the link.
It's not hard to pirate.
You just ask us with like a sob story, and we'll probably give it to you.
We
This
do.
is
By and
true,
large, give it to you.
Yeah.
Or you could just tell me, "Oh, I'm a patron. Can I have the playlist?" And I just say, "Sure." Especially if
we don't check that at all.
Anyway, here's instructions for how to socially engineer us into
Fucking
being a victim of a ransomware attack.
That Carolina scored 2 bad things.
Hey, Justin, what's your mom's maiden name?
Why?
And what'd you go to high school?
He went to.
This is also true.
I actually have his
um,
social security number right in front of me if you want it.
That's true.
DM me, Alice. We'll work something out.
Just the most easily defrauded podcast. Which is that's tough competition too.
This is true, yes.
We're idiots. Please be nice to us.
Yeah.
The company's leadership told everyone they would take this as a lesson to strengthen their information security and cyber attack preparedness. To accomplish this, they, of course, did nothing.
I'm hearing Le Marseillaise in my head.
My dad, of course, took this chance to leave the company.
Probably smart, bud.
Yeah.
That's probably a bad sign if you're like IT security guys. Like, now is a good time for me to leave.
Time to get out, yeah. Several months later, the company was attacked by a well-known ransomware gang. My dad and each of his dependents, including me, got a letter indicating that our private information had been compromised, including our social security numbers. My dad contacted his former coworkers and got more details about the incident. Apparently, the vulnerability that the gang exploited was one of the aforementioned managers. The manager in question had set the password to their work laptop as a word in the company's name, Falcon, and two numbers.
It's a Dassault Falcon? Fuck, Jesus, of course it is, because the fucking French. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, Dassault Falcon.
Not only this, they had a raw text file on their desktop with many important passwords to the company's systems.
No.
Passwords.txt.
Yeah, top secret, do not look.
The attackers were able to use this to completely infiltrate the company. They very professionally copied all the secure databases and completely disposed of them, along with all software backups. The method they used that meant even with the company's hardware backups, much of the database infrastructure would have to be rebuilt from scratch. In layman's terms, the company was very, very fucked. They did not pay the demanded millions of dollars in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, just go to like Serge Dassault's Wikipedia page and look at the guy and tell me if you think he's a guy who even knows what Bitcoin is, let alone is disposed to pay a ransom to anyone.
I mean, millions of dollars in Bitcoin could be anywhere between 1 Bitcoin and 100 million Bitcoin.
Yeah, you just wait for the thing to crash. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Hold on a second. We'll get it to you. I gotta wait for my computer to finish mining it.
I thought you were actually in the process of mining for some reason. I was like, wow, snap.
Yeah.
It's why all the uploads take so long is because you're running a Bitcoin mining rig
and
the whole
use
time.
that for some reason. Who would do that?
Yeah. So all the data was leaked, including all of the personal information of about 2,500 employees and their dependents. Each of these victims was compensated with a whopping 12 months of free identity protection services from a third-party company.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's worth it, right?
Yeah. They were able to restore the affected systems eventually, and the company's leadership was sure to tell the media that they would take this as a lesson to strengthen their information security and cyber attack preparedness.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, of course. No.
I hope this story was enjoyable and served as a good reminder to never trust corporations. Thank you all for the laughs and entertainment.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Welcome.
So yeah, don't have passwords.txt.
Don't go on computer.
Don't do
on your
any of this
Don't
shit.
go on the computer.
You
Listen,
don't go on a
Give
computer.
Alice,
just
give
hire
Alice a fighter jet.
Give me a fighter jet, and then also employ an IT security guy, or possibly an entire team of IT security guys. I know they're weird. I know they might end up wearing thigh socks at the office, but just let them do all of their shit. Do everything that they tell you to do, and then never think about it. Make it their problem.
And once you've done that, all you have to do is wait for the Butlerian Jihad.
That's right.
Which I, for one, am stoked for.
Oh yeah. Well, what have we learned?
Site selection is really important, as it turns out.
Yes. Have access to science that you don't have yet.
Yeah. Have you considered doing that?
Do the research tree, idiots.
Yeah, exactly. Do the research tree.
Rush soil dynamics.
Yeah. Well, our next episode is on the Boston molasses disaster. Does anyone got commercials before we go?
Subscribe to the fucking YouTube channel because we're like 2/3 of the way to me getting a plaque, and I really want a YouTube plaque. So just go ahead and do that now.
You understand you have to share it, right?
Yeah, but that's fine.
Okay.
We can like share custody of the plaque. It'll like bankrupt the entire podcast sending it circularly FedEx.
Yes. The Sisterhood of the Traveling plaque.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
That's a good ass book. It's a good ass movie too, honestly.
I think they made me read it, and I didn't.
That's 2-0 Carolina. They scored 2 goals in 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh my God.
I hate it here.
Well, R.I.P. the Bruins.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the Boston Bruins.
Yeah. Subscribe to Lions Led by Donkeys. 10,000 losses.
Sorry about Nanking.
Subscribe to Trash Future. Subscribe to Kill James Bond.
Yes.
And subscribe to Franklin. And then join me as we berate and ultimately what we're going to do is I'm going to tell everyone where Roz lives. And then we're going to all go to his house and we're going to get the new episode of Franklin together.
Yeah, he's keeping the episodes of Franklin in his house.
That's what they're going to ransomware us for. Oh, all right. It's a podcast.
Bye everyone.
Don't.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, remember we have business to discuss.
I love when I have business to discuss.
It'll be quick, I promise.